Back before I had a computer, I would just watch my older cousin play shooter games. But the main one that really stuck with me was Counterstrike. I was hooked the second I saw it. But unfortunately for me, Counterstrike costed money. And at 10 years old, that was money I didn't have. But once I got handed down a computer at 12 years old, you bet, the first thing that I bought was Counterstrike. And I put in over 2,000 hours playing the game. But when CS2 launched, that spark kind of got smothered. But it had everything to do with how Valve self-inflicts all of their own issues that make the game bad. And the first one is the anti-cheat. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how is the anti-cheat self-inflicted? Valve has had an anti-cheat since Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And they chose to go down the path of not having a kernel level anti-cheat. But with Valve's anti-cheat, it was a little bit different because it did nothing. You could go buy a $5 cheat and cheat in like 10, 20 games and not get caught. So how did Valve combat this? Well, they decided to create an Overwatch system. You could download, review other people that were suspected of cheating, and at the end you would just give it a little survey whether or not you thought that they were cheating beyond a reasonable doubt. But now that we're in CS2, we're promised this AI revolution of an anti-cheat, VACnet 3.0, supposed to stop all the cheaters, all the botters. But now we just see them more prevalent than ever. But to not be able to solve a problem for over 14 years is a bit diabolical in my opinion. What are the hundreds of employees doing at Valve? Maybe it's time to hire a little bit more. The next one, everyone saw this coming, is the sub-tick system. For those that don't understand what a tick system is, it's basically in a 1 second interval, the game will check what is going on inside the game 64 times, evenly spaced. Whether you're moving forward, shooting a gun, and throwing smokes. But in between every space between these 64 ticks, the game doesn't check. So basically, nothing happens. And of course, you can have an action in between these intervals that might not get caught. It gets pushed to the next closest tick. So even though you might have killed somebody earlier, but your shot could have been a little bit more forward in the tick than their shot. So which means they're technically credited with the kill. And Valve tried to fix this with this sub-tick system. So every single action is now timestamped, but it just doesn't work in practice. These prediction systems are just too slow is the best way to put it. I'm sure in theory, it probably works great on LAN, but when people have 30 ping or 40 ping, it's broken. I'm shooting people through walls. My shots just don't register. There is zero reason why this system even exists. And you don't need to take my word for it. You can just look at all the third-party matchmaking providers like Faceit or ESEA. They all use 128 tick. But when CS2 launched, CS decided to hard lock 64 tick, so everyone has to use this broken system that everyone knows does not work. My shots just don't register. What I see is not what I'm getting. And for something that's a little more niche is the economy. CTs are just unfairly punished for no good reason. I mean, you're paying an extra $200 for a diffuse kit and an extra $200 every time you get a rifle that is worse than what the T side has. And of course, you can argue that, hey, CTs don't need to buy head armor, but you can't really make that argument all the time, because even if you choose not to get head armor, if you just get hit one time and even one armor point gets taken off, to buy head armor, you can't just add an extra $250. You have to pay an extra $1,000. So basically you're rebuying armor all over again just for the sake of just because. So how much are you really saving every single time you're playing as a CT? And for the fourth self-inflicted issue is the maps. I know these maps have been around so long. They're so anti-casual. Just look at mid in Mirage. If you don't know that window smoke, you're basically shut out from that part of the map for the rest of the game. One CT can just hold it with an op. Or even look at Banana on Inferno. If you're a T and you want to run that up, you either have to take the hail of nades, and if you brave through it, CTs can just drop the only entrance into the B site and stop the whole round for 20 seconds. Throw another smoke, now you're stuck there for 40 seconds. It's not tactical at all. It's just tedious. And yeah, you can coordinate and push through it, but if you're solo queuing, that's not happening. And of course, there's a different philosophy. When maps are being created on CS, they force the players to adapt. When something is wrong about a map in Valorant, Riot takes it up to their own responsibility that they need to tweak something. They need to make the map a little more fair so it's not so dominant on one side. And of course, the biggest issue is a lack of community in Counter-Strike. I mean, besides the pro scene or competitive scene, what else is there? All of the smaller game modes, they're practically dead. I remember I used to play a couple comp games, and to try to like cool off, I'll play some Demolition, try out the other game modes just for fun. But now, they're all gone. And if we're being honest, Valorant built CS2. Look at how many major updates we got in CSGO. And then all of a sudden, once Valorant was making huge strides, oh, CS2 with the source engine is coming out. People could say, oh, well, they're cooking it in the background. Well, I mean, did you see the launch of CS2? If that was what they were cooking up, there's something definitely wrong with the CS department. And honestly, it needs to get entirely overhauled. For me, this might be the last Counter-Strike that I honestly play. And honestly, that's probably true for most of the people. I mean, I don't even see a lot of younger people that try to get into Counter-Strike unless you're really into the pro scene. I mean, why would you play Counter-Strike when there's so many other games that care about the game more, like Valorant? And when was the last time you saw a YouTuber really create content that blew up on Counter-Strike? I mean, Dima has great challenge videos. I mean, Valorant is just so much more prevalent on YouTube than CS. And I feel like there's just no excuse for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. And I hope Counter-Strike does get better. I'm not trying to put Counter-Strike down. I just want it to be better. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.